Hello, everybody. It's Robert Miller with MillerEducationVentures.com. Hey, listen, a lot of people ask me, like, here, I'm going to say this outright. You know, this COVID-19 thing has caused a very health crisis around the world. I understand it, but equally important is the economic crisis that it's caused. There are companies that are in really bad financial situations. People are put into bad financial situations. And everyone's future is up in the air. Like, what am I going to do? Is my job secure? Am I going to get laid off? Am I going to get furloughed? Am I going to get furloughed indefinitely? Is my position even going to be there if the company may possibly go bankrupt? So, everybody's life economically is up in the air, not just the world being in this health crisis. What I like to do is I like to point out things to people and give them as much information as possible. Why am I telling you this? Is because, first off, from what I've learned over the last few years is a lot of these so-called systems that are out there are very outdated. It's like technology. What is working the brand new today, tomorrow that is outdated. So a lot of these so-called systems, these blueprints, or whatever you want to call them, there is a very small percentage of them that are out there that are actually current. And when you come across an ad, let's say on YouTube, or even Facebook or Instagram, and they give you a time limit saying limited time offer or one-time offer or the chances are there's usually one of several things, but my most common that I've come across is there's something better out there, what they're selling is old, or they're under a time constraint to make some bucks like right now. I'll be back in just a second. There's a siren coming around here, okay? So just give me a second. So I'm back. Getting back to the economic perspective of things, a lot of people, more and more, are going to self-employment. And let's be blunt about it. With somebody having their position working in a company right now, your future is very much in their hands, and they value what you make is what they put on what you're worth. There's nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to your future outlook for yourself and your employment with the employer, so many people are losing jobs, and this is just going to get worse even after this COVID-19 thing is all over and done with, or possibly lingers on for years. Everybody's jobs are up in the air for security. So people, like I was saying, more and more going into self-employment, working for themselves, either being a self-employed contractor in terms of construction or masseuse or some kind of consultant or a life coach, whatever it may be. Things are moving online to a very alarming rate, okay? Now, here is some interesting, I made a video earlier pertaining to the statistics about who is actually more likely to succeed. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not sexist when it comes to male and female. Everybody is equal. But according to these statistics that I have found, is that males that are minimum age 40 plus are more successful because of varying degrees, but it's not to say that females are not in the same category of being able to succeed. So what I like to do is people, there is no secrets with this stuff, people. If you have the time to find out and go through Google and YouTube and all these other sources of information, you can find out all this information for free. You don't have to listen to me, and you don't have to listen to the guy on the next video over here on the right-hand side, or this side, whatever the right-hand side. What I like to do is I tell people right off the bat, first thing you got to choose is, why are you doing this? Why do you want to start a business for yourself? Why do you want Is it for family? Is it for your self-freedom? Is it for yourself of income possibilities? There's so many different ways, but you got to answer is, why do you want to do this? It's like Simon Sinek says, find your big why. My why is very different from a lot of other people. Myself, my big why is I like working from home. I like what I do online. And you can see is that I'm very comfortable on camera here to make a video. But most importantly is, why do you want to do it? The second thing you want to do is, when you're considering an online business or even a brick and mortar business, is your business model. What do I mean by business model? Some people call it business plan. Business model to me means, do you want to sell products online, physical products, like on Amazon FBA, or do you want to go on Shopify, or do you want to open a store on Etsy, or do you want to offer services online and not have a physical building, like an office building? So there's so many different models out there. There's hundreds of ways of doing a business model. So the first thing you got to do is figure out your why you want to do it. What's your business model? And then you're going to find your market categories you want to get into. Okay. Then there's niches inside those markets or industries. Now you're going to hear a lot of people saying health, wealth, relationships. You'll find it all over YouTube. People talking about those three industries. Yes, there's money in those industries, but in the way I teach things, you're going to go into a sub niche. What do I mean? Let's pick health. A sub niche would be diets. Another sub niche on top of the diets would be females. And another sub niche would be, say, 24-year-old females to 30-year-old females. That's a sub niche, what I mean. So health, diets, females, age category. But you don't want to go too tight in the age category of, say, 20 to 25-year-olds. That's too much of a tight niche. And then there's the testing thing, right? I'm just reading off of my notes here, is that testing is imperative. You just don't say, I'm going to sell bikinis to that category, okay? There is a market sweet spot that you use Google Trends for. And it's called a sweet spot for a reason, because you don't want to get into an industry or a niche or a sub niche that is, say, seasonal. That's a fad. You want to avoid all this ups and downs, because unless you got lots of money to weather out through those low times. But you got to find yourself an evergreen product or service. That's key. So that is all done through Google Trends, and I can't explain it to you because it's a little bit of a complicated process to go through. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do a screen share in a future video showing you how to go through Google Trends to find out that market sweet spot. But also, you got to find your competitors. If your competitors in that niche are spending money on advertisements, guess what? That means that product is selling. Where do you find where they're advertising? Well, guess what? Google banner ads are good. Bing ads. But also, the number one place to find out if they're advertising on for paid ads, Amazon. Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon New Zealand, Amazon Japan. You go on there, you go in the search bar, and you type in the product and niche or service, whatever it is, and find out if there's any paid advertisements, even if it's a service. It could be a do-it-yourself book. It could be whatever. If there's a paid ad in there on the first page, you've got yourself a winner. But that's not the only thing. There's other check boxes you got to figure out too. So anyway, if you have any questions, concerns, or anything you want to find out about when it comes to this starting a side hustle or a full-time hustle, leave them in the comments down here, okay? That's what this whole video is all about. My name is Robert Miller. I'm with MillerEducationVentures.com. Go to the website, check it out.